If you've been following my recent playlist of Paris visit videos, you'll know that I took a trip in November of 2022 by myself for 10 days to Paris. This was my first trip anywhere internationally by myself. For decades, I've traveled solo back and forth across the US, but it's always been to visit friends or family. So it's never been to just go and explore a city on my own. So this was definitely a first for me, but I'm a believer in getting outside your comfort zone, and my husband gifted me this trip as an early birthday present so I could come and see some of the museums that maybe we wouldn't have seen together or that I would take at a slower pace. So I jumped way outside my comfort zone and booked a trip solo to Paris. I do have a friend who lives in Paris, so I had someone I could meet up with for a few times during this trip, and that was really comforting. But I just wanted to point out, if you are dreaming about going to Paris and you're a solo traveler, especially if you're a woman, this is not a scary trip at all. And I am the first one to back out of anything if it seems like it might be sketchy or unsafe. So I would just say this is probably the safest feeling city that I have ever walked around. I did not feel unsafe for 1 minute of my time here, not even once. And I'm from small town America, so in general, I always feel like a fish completely out of water in any city. But once I got out and onto the streets here, I relaxed and it felt entirely okay. Obviously, I did not walk around at night, and you have to be aware of places to stay away from. Just like in any city, Paris is a big city and there is crime. But in general, I stayed on the Ile Saint-Louis and I walked probably 7 to 12 miles a day from where I started. And I stayed, sort of fairly local, but I had zero trouble anywhere I went. It was just really enjoyable. Everyone else that's out, it's, old people out for the grocery shop or people on their bikes and people just doing life. And there was just nothing dangerous feeling about being here on the streets, especially as a solo female traveler. So this is just really to say, if you've always wanted to go to Paris and you've been putting it off because you don't want to travel alone, I would say go ahead and go. Book it alone, go by yourself. You'll find that you will probably enjoy this trip very much. This is an easy city to navigate on foot. If you use Google Maps, you can navigate everywhere you need to go, and it literally directs you everywhere, and it feels really safe and comfortable to stroll around Paris alone. I was surprised at how comfortable I felt. I do speak passable French, so I have a little easier time maybe with the language barrier. But in Paris in general, most places you go into, the staff is going to have someone that will speak English and can help you if you need it. In terms of areas to stay, especially if it's your first time in Paris or if you're traveling alone, I haven't stayed all over the city, but we have stayed in the 15th a few times and very much enjoyed that area. Anywhere you stay, and even when you're walking, you're never going to be more than a block or two to the nearest metro, it's a whole other video that I'll get into later, but it's super easy to use once you figure it out. And as long as you're okay knowing that you probably will definitely get on the wrong metro at least once and just ride to the next stop and get off and reorient and get back on and continue. We've also stayed in the Latin Quarter, and on this trip I stayed on the Ile Saint-Louis, which was amazing. It was very central and very beautiful. The Marais is really nice. I've walked through all these places on my own and I had zero problems. I walked all through the Latin Quarter, all up and down the Saint-Germain, through the 15th, all around the Ile Saint-Louis, all around Notre Dame, all around the Louvre, all the way up to the Place de la Concorde. We went up the Champs-Élysées. For all of those places, if you're on your own in this city, you can plan to wander around any of those areas and pretty much encounter no trouble at all. In terms of pickpockets, which are the big thing you'll hear about when you come to Paris, first of all, just don't be a target. You need to, carry your goods in like a small crossbody bag under your coat and or your sweater or a cardigan, button it up, zip it up, and your hands are free, and that way you are not a target for pickpockets. They are watching for all of us out there that are carrying a big bag. If you have especially a backpack or a purse, these guys are definitely watching those bags, and they will target you if they think they can get away with it. I will actually leave a link in the description to the awesome crossbody bag that I use. It's from Amazon. I have not traveled without it for quite a while now. I love it. It's just the right size to carry everything I need, but it also fits easily under a jacket zipped up, and then your hands are free and there's nothing for anyone to get into because it's under your coat. And as with any place, and especially Paris, they are prone to riots and protests, especially here in 2023. So keep an eye on those, and I would not go if those are going on, obviously. You need to stay safe, especially if you're traveling solo. But in general, on a non-protest time of year, I would definitely go to Paris and go solo and just walk around and enjoy this beautiful city. If you'd like to see where I went on my trip, you can check the link here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.